Folks, welcome into sportsbookreview.com. It was a big-time week, and we're ready to close it out in style right here on the Major League Baseball Show. I'm Donnie Seymour. He's Jason Radowitz, along with Kyle Purviance. Friday is payday around these parts. I'm jumping into the fray today with a sweet play of the day. And I got to tell you, it's Friday night. I don't have to wake up early on Saturday. Just a little hint, I will be staying up late to watch this baseball wager cash in. Let's get after it today. Jason, welcome into the show on a Friday.
Yeah, yesterday had the Yankees Blue Jays over 5.5 in the first 5. There was a triple play with guys on second and third. There was an Aaron Judge strikeout with a guy on third and or base loaded and 1 out. It was such a disaster, but we got it in the bottom of the 5th inning, got 6 runs, but really should have got 10, 12 runs. I mean, even towards the end of the game, Judge had a rob of a home run. The game still got over, but it just shows you how hard some of these tickets can be, even when your analysis is spot on. So it was a disaster until the final couple outs, and we got the win. So that was ridiculous.
All right, Kyle, it's Friday. We got football on the channels. We got golf. That's ridiculous. Well, actually, we have golf until like 10 o'clock at night now on national TV. Yeah. So it's interesting, but not interesting to me since I needed a couple guys to play well. They haven't, so I'm out on the open already, Kyle. Besides that, how's your Friday?
My Friday is all right. It's good. I'm a little pissed at Paul Casey right now. You know, I can't get these I do these props of the day, but it's like 4 a.m. and there's nothing out there. So you find something, and then, of course, he's got to crap all over you. And, I mean, we had a good day yesterday. The Braves, I should be happy. Play of the day, 2 strikes, 2 outs. It cashes with a home run. I should be super happy, but I want perfection. I'm a sick man. So when I don't get that magic like I was talking about, I'm a little cranky about it. I'm excited for today. Good cards. I'm doing some extra picks here. 2 plays of the day, 2 value menu baseball plays, and Jason's Mets can piss right off. That's all I have to say.
Yeah, look at that. I love seeing the Mets get shut out with a nice baseball performance yesterday. I got 7 games circled today, whittled it down to 1 that I really like, and we'll certainly get to that in just a bit. Thank you guys for tuning in once again on a Friday. 86,600 subscribers here to sportsbookreview.com, right here on our YouTube channel. And if you look up at the top of the chat box, $20,000 in Bitcoin up for grabs in our Major League Baseball Challenge. Going to go all summer, all through September, close that bad boy down in October as we get ready for the playoffs. It's free. It's me. Get in there. Have some fun with that. See if you can take down some winners all summer long right here at sportsbookreview.com. So let's get into the card today. See what we have. Nothing in the afternoon today, so we can just get right into the Major League Baseball card tonight. And let's start right off with the Athletics and the Yankees coming to the East Coast. And let me set this bad boy up here for us. Purviance versus Tyone, 965, 966, 140 across the board, 9.5 as a total. Are the New York Yankees waking up, Jason, out of their slumber and take down the first place Athletics?
Yeah, so Tyone really hasn't looked great recently. 6.26 xFIP, 16.3% strikeouts, 9.8% walks in the last 30 days. Also less than 30% ground balls. Lefties are hitting 375 weighted OBA and a 171 ISO. So yeah, he has not been very good. To righties, he's been a little bit better, and that's more what the A's have. But the A's are walking 10.6% of the time. They're getting on their weighted OBA is 356, 215 ISO in the last 30 days against righties. I do think the A's figure it out here offensively against the Yankees. So I do think A's over 4.5 from the team total at -105 is a solid look, and could be a little bit of value play that we'll get on a little bit later.
All right, let's flip it over here and talk to the man that's out on the West Coast with a West Coast team coming east. Maybe the Yankees waking up out of a slumber. What an unbelievable catch last night by Aaron Judge, basically saving the Yankees from death and destruction. But Oakland's going to go up against Tyone in this one. Look, you're going to get Olsen from the left-hand side, Moreland from the left-hand side, Brown and Kemp, and that is the way you attack Jamison Tyone. Would it be nice if they had a lot of left-handed batters in the lineup today for Oakland? Yes, it would be, but you take what you can get. Still interesting that all that fanfare seems to always go to the Astros with their big performances every night, run differential in the season, but it's not them in first place. It's the Oakland Athletics. What are we looking at tonight here in the Bronx, Kyle, between the A's and the Yanks?
I got to tell you, this is one of the plus money spots that just bounced off the page to me. The Yankees do not profile well here, and Tyone is an absolute can. I know Purviance got torched, in his debut, but he's been fairly solid ever since. I'm not seeing a lot to like about the Yankees here. When I look at this lineup, just if you take the 3-year weighted OPS, and of course, Caprillion hasn't been here the whole time, so those numbers are skewed just a bit. But we're looking at negative 67, negative 63, negative 62, negative 75, negative 48, negative 37, and negative 68. The only hitter with an advantage is the can himself out there. I don't even know why he's still in the major leagues, Brett Gardner. I'm taking the A's here. I'm looking at the first 5 innings, plus 120 on the money line. I'm sorry. I like the A's here. I think their lineup profile is way better. And we already know, even if the Yankees line up profile beautifully, they're probably not scoring a run in the first 5 innings anyways. They're the classic team that only score in the second half of the game. I like the A's here. And I do like Matt Olson. I almost did a home run prop on Matt Olson. I was very, very close to doing that. A nice little advantage there. I just don't know how you can trust the Yankees early in games. I think we can trust the A's here. I like Caprillion more than Taillon. So if you're looking for a plus money spot, I'll take the A's first 5 money line at plus 120.
Yeah, I can't hate on the Yankees lineup. I don't know if it is. I guess it is what it is. So maybe they won't wake up for the entire summer, but until we try to hope they do. That's the tough part here. Caprillion being on the mound in Yankee Stadium. Good hitting weather, 80 degrees, wind blowing out. We'll see how that holds up. And that's why that game is at a 9.5. So some interesting ones here, but certainly a first-place team getting $120 or so on the road. Hey, I mean, there's worse shots you could take. It's not like you're taking the Diamondbacks coming over to the Bronx on the road saying, hey, I think they got a pretty good shot at this one here. Let's keep going down. Second game we'll talk about today, 9:53, 9:54. That is St. Louis and Atlanta. If we look across the board, 9s to 9.5s, depending on where you're shopping at. Pinnacle Offshore here showing a favorite towards the Atlanta Braves with Fried on the mound at 175 where it opened. That crashes now to 149. And again, 9.5 offshore. FanDuel here in New Jersey, a minus 158. But keep in mind also, that opened at 190. So they're crashing both sides. Maybe Martinez can make his way through the raindrops, as I like to say, with a guy with a high xFIP. But taking a look at this game, Jason, between the Cardinals and the Braves, what are you looking at here?
Well, Carlos Martinez, obviously a guy that all three of us love to fade when we get the opportunity. It's going to be in Atlanta, obviously hitter's ballpark, nice weather. We should see a lot of runs in this game. And I talked about the Cardinals too. They're going up against the lefty in Max Fried. Max Fried's been a lot better since his injury, so he looks a lot. He's more of an ace pitcher now than he was before. But the Cardinals, they do hit lefties well. Recently, not so much against the Marlins. They really didn't against I think it was Garrett Braxton and also I think it was Rogers. So yeah, they struggled a little bit, but who knows? Maybe in Atlanta they figured out offensively against the lefty and Fried, maybe get a couple of runs. So I do like the over in the game. I would rather side with the Braves here, over 4.5 on the team total there. I also like the Braves minus 0.5 in the first 5. If I had to choose a side for this game, always would rather take Max Fried over Carlos Martinez, and do think the Braves profile well offensively against Martinez.
Yeah, we're at the point here where the Braves every single night, depending on if they're going up against a super ace, look great. Now, last night, 4.5 as a team total. Just missed it on my value menu wager. I was able to hit the late night game with the Tampa Bay Rays, but they had chances, bases loaded, guys, runners on scoring position late in that game to get that 5th run, but they didn't need it. They didn't get a running mate. So always when we talk about getting that running mate with the other team pushes you and activates you with at least a 9th inning at bat when maybe you weren't going to get it if you did have the lead. But take a look at Martinez. Here's the interesting part about Martinez, and it's the same way we took about Gant, who was decent last night. An xFIP over 5, which means you're due to get rocked. It means you're not striking anybody out. You're walking too many guys and giving up fly balls. But when you take a look at the weighted on base average, Kyle, between lefties and righties here for Martinez, he's done very well, which means, you could still get lucky and do very well because his weighted on base average to lefties is 277 and then to righties a 309, both below the league average, and also ISO power numbers not very high, 1.09 and 1.36. What gives tonight when you're taking a look here between the Cardinals and the Braves tonight, Kyle?
I always love it when it skips out and I can't hear a damn word you say 15 seconds in and I'm just guessing. But let me just start here. Both these pitchers stink. Okay, they're just god-awful. I know Fried's been a little bit better and Martinez probably had his best start of the year in his last start. I'm just going to give you, these are the fantasy numbers in the last 5 starts by both these pitchers versus these teams. So here's Max Fried. In his last 5 starts, these are his fantasy point totals. You want to somewhere around in the 30s just to kind of give you a reference point. Fried 9.910 -1. That's not good. And then we get down here to Martinez, and it's 3 -1 7 0 and 3. So both these pitchers get absolutely rocked by the other lineup. Both these pitchers have an 850 plus weighted 3-year OPS versus the opposing lineup. There's no way I could pick a side here, first five, full time. There's just absolutely no way. But this game screams over to me. You've got a Braves team total of over 4.5 at minus 115, and you've got a Cardinals team total of over 3.5 at minus 140. I think both teams hit their team total here. I wouldn't bother with the side here. I'd take the over in this game, and if you want to sprinkle both teams' team totals, I think that makes a ton of sense. The Arenado prop is absolutely alive. So is Acuna. Freddie Freeman, 6 of 12 in his lifetime off Martinez. 3 singles, 1 double, 2 home runs. Ronald Acuna, 4 for 4 lifetime off of Martinez, including a home run. The entire lineup outside of Encarte, whatever the hell his name is. Enciarte, thank you. He's the only hitter in the Braves lineup that doesn't have an advantage. Oh, and by the way, for his career, he's 5 of 11 off of Martinez. So the Braves should hit that team total. The Cardinals should hit that team total. If you're betting sides here, you're a fish. You're going to get eaten by the Sharks. Don't even bother on the sides here, in my opinion. Take the team totals. Take a little sprinkle on that over if you want, and enjoy the rest of your night.
Yeah, it should be an interesting one. But again, it's always that fail-safe team where you feel like you're going to get an honest effort at the plate because it's like every single night, again, as I say, lefty or righty, it doesn't matter. Their ISO power numbers all the way through the lineup are above average. So if they struggle for a few innings, they can light it up and get you a crooked number, 3, 4, 5 runs relatively quickly, particularly late in games. Now, yesterday, weren't able to get it done, but they were right in that ballpark. And as Kyle said, used their last out, got 1 in the 5th, started tacking some runs on. They did have multiple chances to get over their team total yesterday, but were not able to do it. Let's get to the final game on the marquee card that we have today. Philadelphia and San Francisco, 961, 962. Vinny Velasquez will be on the mound versus Johnny Cueto. Short favorite offshore Pinnacle opened up at minus 120. That now sits at minus 126 as a favorite towards the Giants here in New Jersey, sitting at 130 and 8.5 as the total for the game itself. If we slide it down and try to take some matchups into this one, Bryce Harper looks like he's probably going to give it a go for some boost in that lineup. But when you flip it over to the San Francisco Giants, I'm going to start with this here. Been on their homestand over the past couple games, which is 4 games, played Arizona, who's not a good baseball team. But they scored 5, 9, 13, and 10. In those last 4 games at home in San Francisco, hits 14, 12, 13, 15. They even had one of those games where they hit 5 home runs at home. And I read a good article last year about San Francisco and, Pac Bell, AT&T, Oracle, whatever you want to call it today. They actually changed some corridors there, which funneled the wind out of the stadium, which allowed more hits. I guess one of those, if you're saying, hey, the power rallies in left center and right center, you now have a train of wind flying out there. Seems to be working because the San Francisco Giants are scoring when we haven't seen this in the past. It's not a great lineup, but check this out. Wade, 204 ISO. Yastrzemski, 287. Posey, 216. Belt, 250. Crawford, 275. Vossler, 235. And Duggar, 226. Is this the 1926 Yankees? Looks like it. They'll score tonight. Hint, hint, Jason.
Yeah, I like the over in this game as well. I think both teams could definitely score some runs. And like you always say, when you're taking a team total, you want a running mate. And that will definitely happen in this game, in my opinion at least. Velasquez and Cueto both on the mound. They've both been not so great. Velasquez, 4.94 xFIP, striking out some batters, so you might get some strikeouts against this Giants lineup. But again, it's like boom or bust. So if it's not a strikeout, it's going to be a ball in play, and that ball in play will more than likely be a hit, like Donnie was talking about earlier. Velasquez also getting just 36.5% of ground balls, so they're not just going to be little ground balls to the pitcher or whatever. We're going to get some hard contact from this Giants team. And like we always like to say as well, they platoon guys so they get lefties in the lineup again to go against the righty. Also on the Phillies side against Cueto, 4.8 xFIP in the last 30 days, 16.7% strikeouts. The Phillies at the top of the lineup, they can do some damage too. Herrera, Hoskins, Realmuto, Harper if he's back in the lineup, and McCutchen. They've all got some solid power that they can, go against righties here. Harper, not so much, but we know what he's capable of, especially against our righties. So I think both teams can get the job done offensively, like the over 8.5, and obviously agree with any team total for either of these teams.
If we take a look here, Kyle, at this game, you take a look at Velasquez. He hasn't been bad, right? He hasn't been bad. So I don't want to hold it against him. If he goes 5 innings, he'll probably pitch, 90 to 92 pitches, put some guys on base. But here's where I like it, and here's the difference. We're taking a look at Velasquez, on the season itself, to lefties overall, a 363 weighted on base average, which is extremely high. If we take a look at him on the road through 41 batters that he's faced from the left-hand side, that elevates to a 413. Now, here's the caveat, right? Vince Velasquez, right-hand pitcher. Take a look at the lefties we're expecting in the lineup. Wade, Yastrzemski, Belt, Crawford, Vossler, Duggar. That's 6 guys out of 8 in the National League that are coming from the left-hand side against what Velasquez really struggles with. So if you try to narrow it down and say, okay, give me a good outing for Velasquez, 5 innings, 3 earned runs is a very good outing for him, I'll take that. Go ahead. What are you looking at, Kyle?
Well, here's my official play up. No, I'm totally kidding. That was just going to be funny to mess with Donnie right there. Let's just end the show here. Here's my official play of the day. Let's talk about this. No, I'm totally kidding. I just saw in the chat box, I'm taking the Phillies. Cueto sucks. Well, guess what? Vinny Velasquez also sucks. I know he's been a little bit better, but no, both these pitchers are, I wouldn't say they are the worst, right? They're like in that middle 40 to 50%. They're in the middle or lower middle of right-handed pitchers in the league. And you're right. The Giants lineup just profiles so much better. And I know Harper's going to try to give it a go, and we'll see how that goes, Herrera, etc. For me, I just can't take the Phillies on the road against the Giants. I just don't think they have the team to get it done. And this is one of those things where you want to make a bet on the Giants, especially if you're going to take a team total or you're going to take a side where you want to do it full game. Because let's say Velasquez does come out and somehow shut down these lefties, which I don't expect him to do. You get that Phillies bullpen, and that's why, it's very subjective. We were talking yesterday how we don't pick sides very often. When you do, you want to make sure it's a team where you can take advantage of the bullpen, the Texases, the Reds, obviously the Phillies, the Rockies, the Diamondbacks. Yes, the Tigers, of course. Mm-hmm. These sorts of teams that you still, if things didn't go your way early, you still have a chance to make some money late. I lean the Giants here. I don't have anything official on this. I do think their team total is live. I think they're alive in the first 5 innings. Cueto, Velasquez, pretty similar, but the Giants lineup certainly profiles better than the Phillies lineup does against Cueto. So I'll lean the Giants here first 5 full time.
Yeah, hey, Giants are a real team. So I think it's time that we, maybe turn the page. And I hope I don't jinx the Giants, I guess, I don't care if they win the rest of the year, but they've been really good. And we're saying each and every week on here, hey, maybe they'll fall back in line. Maybe it's the Padres that fall back. And we thought they were going to be a good baseball club, and they're not as good as the Giants are. But we'll see if they can go toe-to-toe with the Dodgers throughout the remainder of the season, because the Dodgers obviously have 2 starting lineups, which is ridiculous in baseball. But the Giants got something going on out there in the Bay Area. We'll see if it does continue tonight. Let's go to some value menu wagers on the card tonight and see what we have cropped up. Now, this is an interesting one because I know we're sharing stuff behind the scenes here as well. Taking a look, I really like Minnesota today. I thought they were a legitimate play for a team total. And take a look at both options. MGM at 4.5 at -125. FanDuel at 4.5 at -124. So FanDuel usually a little bit higher, actually a little bit lower today on this game. A couple things I'm checking into on this one because I think it still does make sense. The roof is going to be closed, which never helps. And actually looking at the weather conditions, it doesn't look like it's going to be all that hot or even rainy down in Texas. So kind of surprising that roof will be closed today. But also keep in mind, might be getting Max Kepler, a lefty, back in the lineup today for the Minnesota Twins, looking to be activated off his rehab stint. That is a lefty, and lefties do a lot of damage versus Fultonavich. That will be a bump if he does get into the lineup tonight. Also keep an eye to see if Josh Donaldson is in the lineup tonight as well. Struggling, I believe, with a calf injury. It seems like he has every single year. It's almost like Julio Jones, trying to get this guy in and out of the lineup.
I still
think it's what legitimate. An insult. Yeah. Ouch, that hurts.
Yeah. How many times is Josh Donaldson hurt, or at least trying to?
Because he swings for the fences every time.
Yeah, there it is. But that's my value menu wager play today. Minnesota Twins 4.5. I think it gets over. Would have loved to see that roof open, but it's not going to be. Still should be able to hit Fultonavich. What are you looking at, Jason? Fast food action.
Well, again, we were talking behind the scenes, and it looks like Bruce Zimmerman is not going to be starting for the Orioles. It's going to be Tom Eshelman instead. I obviously haven't really done much and haven't really looked at.
I was going to ask you because that's one of my plays that I need to know who Eshelman is, Jason. What did he get?
That's so here we go. Yeah, 12 this will be his first start this year. But 12 games last year, 4 starts, 34.2 innings pitched. He struck out just 4.15 batters per 9 innings, walked 2.34, home runs, the 1.82 home runs per 9 innings, the 5.76 FIP. or FIP, and XFIP is 5.86. So yeah, he can get hit hard. And I'm looking at the Blue Jays right now. It looks like the lines just came up. I'm seeing 4.5 over a team total, minus 160, 5.5 at plus 100. So I think there's value if we can find that over 5. I'm sure it's probably on FanDuel or PointsBet. Those are the sites that usually give kind of those even numbers. So over 5 for the Blue Jays. I love their offense. They've destroyed, and they've been really good. And up and down that lineup, they're really good. So it's a value play. Obviously not official. If I do make it official, I'll let you know through Twitter. I got to do more research on Eshelman and the Blue Jays offense against him. But like we always say, obviously one thing, Baltimore, they're hitter's ballpark in the first place. Lots of home runs could come from that. And that's why also Eshelman allowed 1.82 home runs per 9 innings last year for Baltimore, because again, being at home in Baltimore, not always great for the pitchers, especially the ones that allow home runs. So that's going to be my value play. It might turn into an official play. Got to do some more research on that one.
Yeah, it'll be interesting because when you take a look at Toronto, you think their lineup should profile much better than it does, even lefty or righty. But he is a bad pitcher. If we go back to 2019 with Eshelman, that's what you like to look at here. In Major League Baseball, at 36 innings that year, an xFIP of 5.92. And then you take a look at 2020 at about 35 innings. That was a 5.86, which is a complete disaster. And then now you're looking at AAA, not even in the major leagues this year. He's had 19.2 innings, and that's still over 5 as an xFIP. So this guy also coming in a spot start in Major League Baseball in a hitter's ballpark. You got some big boys in that lineup here for Toronto. So almost sometimes you see that and say, I know I'm going to get 9 at-bats. I'm going to get 9 at-bats in Baltimore against a bad pitcher and a bad bullpen. Where do you sign up? So even if you do take it and just say, I just want to fade Eshelman, it's one of those where we look at Matt Harvey like, I can't say, oh, man, contrarian play, take the other side. They should get hit around. Kyle, what are you looking at today? Value menu.
Completely agreed. We're going to get more to that when we get to the plays of the day. But on my value menu today, and that is official for Jason, by the way. I speak fluent Jason Radowitz. That is 100% official. So just look for that.
Only if it wins.
Just like half your mortgage, whole mortgage, if you want to pawn your wedding ring, whatever you got to do. But Jason's all over that one. On my value menu today, I've got the Braves team total over 4.5 minus 115. I just cannot look at that lineup. 7 of the 8 hitters with massive advantages here against Carlos Martinez and think they're going to do anything less than get over that 4.5 minus 115. So that's on the value menu. And one other one, a game we maybe talk about a little later, and a team we don't always back, especially in team totals. But when Michael Wacha is on the mound, that guy. Waka, exactly. He is absolutely horrific, which means he might pitch a no-hitter tonight. I mean, his last start against Seattle, -2 fantasy points. Here's his last 5 overall. How he's still starting for anybody is beyond me. And again, he's only going to go 2 or 3 innings, so he's not going to go long. But the Mariners should be able to get some runs early. And I know it's not a great Mariners lineup, but the Hanigers, the Seagers, the Ty Francis, etc., over 3.5 at minus 115. I'll take a sprinkle on that. I think the Mariners get some runs early here. If they even get 2 off walk, you just need a couple more over the last, 21 outs. I think the Mariners make an interesting value play, a team we don't talk a lot about. But Michael Wacha is so damn bad. I'll take that over 3.5 on the value menu at minus 115.
There you go. All right, let's slide it down. Best bets on the Major League Baseball board. I tell you, I can't remember the last time I lost a Friday wager here on a Best Bet and Banker. And it seems like the Friday cards are ones like, I'm going to never pass. No way. There's so many good options on the card, which we're going to hit each and every one of these games here. But a lot of them that I had circled and tried to find some advantages. I'm going to go once again against my Philadelphia Phillies in this spot. San Francisco's team total. 2 options you can take here. And I like to use the sports books where most people have it available. BetMGM's in 11 states. That's more than anybody else. That's why I caught both myself and Jason always reference BetMGM. You can get on there. If you have FanDuel, you can get BetMGM. So 11 states, they are available in legally. FanDuel's only 10. So we're going to go BetMGM, and I'm going 3.5 here's a team total at minus 155. If you have FanDuel, you should have BetMGM, but if you don't want to pay up because they'll go in those intervals, 3.5, 4.5, 5.5 for team totals. It is at FanDuel at 4 at minus 124, which is still a very good price as well. But I'm just looking for 4 runs, which means Philadelphia Phillies, do me a favor tonight. Score 3 runs. If you score 3 runs, I feel I'm going to get an automatic victory here on the Giants in this one. even if the Phillies don't score, I still think it comes in here. Already went over all the numbers here for what we like and don't like about Vinny Velasquez. If you load up quality left-handed batters against him, he is going to succumb to that. And also, let's keep in mind, roughed up a little bit in his last 2 outings here. If he gets 5 innings and 3 earned runs, I'll take that every time. That leaves me with 6, 7, and 8, which is 9 outs to get 1 run in order to cash a ticket here. And yeah, let's assume that Vinny Velasquez hanging on for dear life in Major League Baseball. Know what he's probably doing? Junking up the baseball, and now he can't do it. Let's see him fry out there on the West Coast tonight. Give me 5 runs in the first 5 innings and put this bad boy away. Play of the day. San Francisco Giants 3.5 minus 155 all day, baby. Let's go. Jason, where's your best betting bankers at tonight?
I love how you just killed your team and your players.
I always do.
That was fantastic. But yeah, I got 2 plays today. Well, first off, we're going with the Angels-Tigers game. I'm on the Angels over 5 on the team total via FanDuel at minus 118. Now you can get the 4.5 on MGM if you want to play a little bit safer and get it at minus 145 on over 4.5 for the Angels. Looks like Ohtani just got announced he'll be in the home run derby. That should be really fun and interesting. Not sure how that will help his shoulder or anything when he's pitching moving forward, but that's a different conversation. Anyway, Jose Urena on the mound. He's got an xFIP of 6.91 in the last 30 days. He's striking out just 5.7% of batters. Walking 9.2% of batters. He's so bad versus lefties and righties. 363 weighted OBA to lefties, 396 to righties. Obviously, the Angels are going to have more righties in the lineup, and they've been so great offensively. You guys already saw me take them not too long ago. I love their offense. It's been really good. Got to make sure Ohtani's in the lineup, but should be after his start yesterday. So I'm not too worried, but that would be nice to have Ohtani in there. But Upton, Ohtani, Rendon, Walsh, Stazzy, Ward, they've got so many guys that can do some damage against Urena, who's really struggled as of late. Low strikeouts, high walks to lefties. Like Walsh will be a lefty in that lineup. So there's a lot to like in the Angels lineup there. So I'm on the over 5 and the team total at minus 118. And if the Angels, their bullpen wants to blow it and let the Tigers back into it, that's completely fine. What's been really funny, though, Alex Cobb, he's been so good, but also so bad. Like, you look at his analytics, he's been really good. Yeah. Then you go to his last 2 starts, allowed 10 earned runs. 10 earned runs, and he's allowed 9 fly balls in those
Chalking up that baseball, Jason. He's chalking it up over there.
I don't get it. How do you allow 10 earned runs and just have 9 fly balls in 2 starts? It's beyond me. But he's getting a crazy amount of ground balls. He's looked really good, but he's also been so bad. So I think he'll perform well against the Tigers. I think he'll be just fine. So if you want to do that first 5, by all means, you can go for it. But I wouldn't go full game. The Angels bullpen is the worst in all of baseball, and it's not even close at this point when you look at the analytics. Secondly, my next play, we are going to the Twins, over 4.5 on the team total there. Kind of already talked about it with Donnie there. Folty, 6.37 xFIP, and 7.3% strikeouts, and 4.6% walks. He's been brutal against lefties, and like Donnie said again, Kepler could be back, but even if he's not back, should have 6 lefties in the lineup. Then you have 3 righties on the lineup. That would be potentially, Donaldson. We'll see how that goes. Who's another power hitter against righties who he's hit righties well. Cruz, guy that's hit righties well with power. And Sano, a guy that's hit righties with power, or he strikes out. He's boomer bust guy.
Yeah.
But Cruz already has a home run against Folty. I love this Twins lineup, the lefties, and then you also have the 3 right-handed bats that have plenty of power against righties in the first place, and Folty should allow a couple home runs in this game. And then obviously the Rangers bullpen, once Folty's out, and that should be more than enough for the Twins, who will get 9 innings to score 5 runs in this game. So I love the Twins in this game. Think they'll win the first 5 as well, but I'm going to go with the over and the 4.5 on the team total and ride with that one.
There you go. And by the way, I love the fact that Ohtani is in the home run derby, which goes to show you guys like Aaron Judge, Gary Sanchez, Giancarlo Stanton. I don't want to get hurt. I don't want to get exactly. It's the same thing we used to laugh at, like, LeBron James. Ooh, ankle a little bit rough. Not going to get in the dunk competition. What are you afraid of? Get out there and swing and let it rip. Like, you don't go to every single stadium before the game and try to hit 550-foot blasts in batting practice. But when the show is on, because you want to drink the night before the All-Star game, you don't want to appear and hit home runs for the fans. Get out there and swing it away. My goodness. Kyle, take it away here. Best bet.
Yeah.
What do you got?
Yes, and I'm glad you said that about LeBron, because that's exactly why he can't sniff the jock of Michael Jordan. That's why That's
Yeah,
why
like
he
Jordan
can't even
won it and then
sniff.
ducked.
He can't even
Like Jordan
sniff the
ducked
jock
for
of Kobe
15 years
Bryant.
the dunk competition, man.
But
Come on, Jordan, get in the dunk competition.
LeBron, I guarantee you, is afraid of spiders. You got to remember, he was afraid to post up JJ Barea in the finals, for Christ's sakes. Of course he's afraid of the slam dunk contest, which is why he will never even remotely close, not just to Michael Jordan, but to Larry Bird, even to Tim Duncan. Like, get the hell out of here.
The question,
LeBron
though,
James,
is should Jordan even have won an NBA dunk competition because somebody got robbed in Chicago. His name is Dominique.
There was an impressive dunk, and I did like Dominique Wilkins, so I will give you some of that. So my plays of the day, I like the Twins in the first 5, minus 0.5. The line has moved from 120 to 125 now, obviously, with the pitching change. Their lineup profiles beautifully off of Fulton Yevich. I do like the home run prop on Nelson Cruz. He did it for us once this week. I think he can get it done again. I think that number's too short. Berrios is, in my opinion, significantly better than Fulton Yevich. That Texas lineup does not profile well off of Berrios either. So I'm going to take the Twins minus 0.5 in the first 5 at minus 125 as my first play of the day. Or, yeah. Okay, I'm seeing that now as we get the message here. And then when we go, my second play of the day, I was probably mixing up the Zimmerman and Eshelman thing. I like the Blue Jays first 5 and the minus 0.5 at minus 120. Yeah, so I mixed it up. The pitching did not change. The line just moved because people realized the line's too low on the Twins. Eshelman now, the Jays profile beautifully off of Zimmerman. Thank you for that, Jason. Jason, keeping me right here. I'm getting old, so we got to have the young mind here to keep us clear. But still, Toronto, look, Robbie Ray should be able to absolutely torch this Baltimore lineup. His last start against Baltimore put up 59 fantasy points. Much better pitcher than this Eshelman guy coming from single A, double A, triple A, wherever the hell he's coming from. So I'll take the Blue Jays first 5, minus 0.5 as minus 120 as well. Twins, Blue Jays, first 5, parlay them together if you want. You can get some plus money there. I parlayed them together, and I got it at plus 225. I think it's a nice play tonight. Twins, Blue Jays, first 5, plays of the day.
By the way, interesting stuff here. We do have a pitching change, but it looks like maybe to an opener here with Zimmer in Kansas City. We'll get to that in just a few moments, but one of those red alerts, as I like to say. You know what first pitch in Kansas City will be tonight? Right around 100 degrees with the wind blowing out. So get ready for that one. But let's hit the odds lightning round and clear out this baseball card, see if we have some fun and maybe some angles we can play, because there's a lot of really good games. The Lucchese crime family on the mound today in Washington for the New York Mets versus Washington. And Fetty appears out of nowhere. Minus 123, minus 110, depending on where you're shopping at here. 8.5 to 9 as a total. Usually Fetty is one of those guys I do like to fade, but again, until the Mets get my boys back like Conforto, McNeil, Nimmo, and that 1 through 8 looks really good, I can't remember the last time I took a Mets team total, Jason.
Yeah, I'm just reading this chat right now. We got either you love LeBron or you hate LeBron.
We already got a thumbs down for it. They're just, don't like LeBron.
That's LeBron watching.
Cry all day.
Yeah,
I will be bathing in your tears because I do not give a damn.
But go back to baseball. I do like the Mets in this spot. Lucchese's looked a lot better recently. Just kind of went his longest outing in his last start, and I feel like he's kind of figuring it out just a little bit. 3.84 xFIP in his last 30 days, striking out 30.2%, walking 6.3%. So he's been really good as of late, really not allowing much power. Weighted OBAs are lower than 300 from either side. He's been really good. I really do think he'll perform well against the Nationals, who really, outside of Soto and Zimmerman, they don't really have many guys that have been producing consistently as of late. But then you have Fetty, obviously coming off of just one start in the last 30 days. So I'd like to see more from him. But, I mean, we know from last year that he's hittable. And the Mets, they've been better offensively, except for last night, of course. So we already saw that in the chat and got killed for it, Kyle and I. But they still got the 3 games to 4 in the series against the Cubs. So that was great for the Mets. And I still think their offense will be just fine. So I'd look at the Mets here. They're hitting righties well. 244 ISO, 349 weighted OBA for that projected lineup. And now Conforto, McNeil, Almora, guys are going to come back into the lineup. Not yet, but really soon. So the Mets are starting to trend in the right direction, and they're already in first place. So a lot of good things to like in the Mets. I'd go with the Mets minus 105 here.
I actually like it the opposite way in this one because I think that Washington lineup looks really good against Lucchese and lefties. 232 ISO power, and you got, Turner, Zimmerman, Harris, Harrison, Gomes, Mercer, and Robles. We'll see how it turns out, but this is an interesting one. Sometimes I don't know what I'm going to get from the Mets, but typically, you know what we get from the Mets, Jason? Really good starting pitching. So we'll see if Lucchesi can keep that trend going here as we are. How about this one? Toronto and Baltimore. Eshelman in the pitching change here for us today, Kyle. Robbie Ray on the mound going up against Baltimore. Now, here's another interesting one that you take a look at, because when we're trying to look at the lineups and how they face other pitchers, Robbie Ray is a good pitcher, a dominant strikeout pitcher. But take a look at this. The Baltimore lineup stacks right-handed bats with extremely high weighted on-base averages. And when we say Robbie Ray is a strikeout pitcher, striking out, Kyle, 32% of the batters he's faced this year, this team, the Baltimore Orioles, doesn't strike out a lot against lefties. Take a look at it. Mullins, 17%. Mancini, 17%. Hayes, 17%. Galvis, 18%. Severino, 18%. Velika, 15%. This is an interesting lineup here. Do I want to take Baltimore and just say, hey, look, they really hit lefties well? I think Robbie Ray can put on a pretty good performance here in this one, but it's just one of those games where I laid off of, but I thought it was really interesting to see how that Baltimore lineup shows up against against Robbie Ray.
Yeah, and I'm glad you brought the game back to me because, of course, obviously when I took the Blue Jays minus 0.5 in the first 5 this morning, it was a different pitcher. Now that line has changed, so some people say they found it at minus 140. It did actually pop down on there, but I still like the Blue Jays, and you're not wrong. When you look at this Orioles lineup, they do profile well in terms of the 3-year advantages, but Ray is so much better than this Eshelman kid, and that Blue Jays lineup is so much better than the Orioles lineup. So I'm going to stick with the Toronto Blue Jays at minus 0.5 in the first 5. If it gets out of hand and it gets over 150 into that 160, 170 range, I'll just parlay it. But for right now, if it sticks around that 135, 140 range, I'll stay with it. Vladdy Daddy should be able to hit a home run. I like calling him that for some reason like that. Hello, Federico. I'll say hi to you in the chat box as well. It's nice to see you. And yes, the screen does look crazy. I don't know if it looks crazy for the people watching or just for us, but mine.
No, it's just us.
Is it
We're
just
aliens out here, baby.
It does look like
we are aliens back here, but me and Kyle have really good tans. Jason is taken to another level right now, though.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, Jason's tan. Woo, that is outrageous.
Look, what the hell are these three guys talking about right now? What are they even going? I mean, this is what we do over here, man. We just mess around and have some fun as we get into it. By the way, an interesting a game here that I do want to talk about. And the reason why it did not make my card is because the weather conditions, it might not be worth it to waste time. We're taking a look at Chad Kuhl. To me, as we take a look here, Kyle, the worst pitcher on the card. Look, 153 xFIP minus, 6.52 ERA, 6.20 xFIP. And how the hell do you have a Sierra that's touching 6? Meaning like everybody is getting on base right now. So as I take a look at this game, I didn't bet it, as I said, because you might get thunderstorms. Maybe he pitches 1 inning and he's out. And that's the reason why you're taking this game, because you want to fade Chad Kuhl. What are you taking a look at between Cleveland and Pittsburgh? Minus 130 to minus 125, depending on where you're shopping at, and 9s, Jason, across the board.
Yeah, look, I've always been a big supporter of J.C. Mejia since he's come up now. I like his stuff. I think he's really good. He'll get a lot of ground balls. So can throw strikes. So I really do like him, and I think that it's a really great matchup for the Indians. But then you look at the Indians' analytics, and, okay, the Indians, their offense is just miserable. It's just awful. Obviously, any major league team should be able to hit Chad Kuhl, get on base, score some runs, and I do think that will be the case. So I would go with the Indians minus 0.5 in the first 5 here. But with that said, of course, the weather, it's really the only questionable game on the card today. So why go with that game when you have 14 other games that aren't questionable? And then you also have some NBA games, and you have some golf, and you have some soccer. Why sweat a game where you might get some rain, and that might screw it all up? So.
I mean, soccer, where's that at? I don't see that anywhere.
In the chat. I see it in the chat.
How about the blast from the past? We all need to say hi to Freddie. What up, Freddie? How many times has he heard us behind the screen? He's messaged us in the chat box, and I do want to say hi to Freddie. Because,
word up.
Word up to Freddie. We're saying hi.
Hey, man, everybody gets back in there. Exactly. So, I mean, it's a big reunion party here on a Friday. People know that SBR is a place to be on a Friday afternoon. So we give the people what they want, a little bit of picks, a little bit of action, a little bit of comedy. It is what it is. And also the next game here, Kyle, is yours. Miami and the Chicago Cubs. Thompson and Davies here on the mound. How about this? 168, 175 is a favorite here to the Chicago Cubs. If last time I checked, Davies on the year, xFIP minus 129, xFIP on the season, 523. Sierra, 5.53. What gives in this one? Is it just that the Cubs have a lineup that can hit and Miami is just, a $3 payroll?
So is it not going to be Lopez then for Miami, you're saying? It's going to be Thompson?
I got Thompson listed here as the pitcher.
I don't think anything's official just yet.
Nothing's official yet.
Could be anything.
If it was
Might
Lopez,
have an opener,
which is what I was looking, I would say maybe this could be a nerfy spot. If it's Lopez, that's the only way this game would stay relatively close. Other than that, give me the Cubs here. The Cubs should. Davies has been surprisingly good, right? We talked about this a couple of times. Like, wait, this guy's supposed to be a can. He's out here putting up numbers, a 40 and a 48 in his last two starts. His last start against Miami didn't go all that well, and they have actually hit him 18 to 58 at 310 lifetime average. But I will take the Cubs here. If I'm looking in the first five, do they even have a number up for it here yet? I'm not even seeing a number for it.
There's no pitcher yet. So
there's no pitcher yet. But Davies has been pretty good. Obviously, that Miami Marlins is a double-A lineup. It's absolutely pathetic and atrocious. We talked about it the other day. Vladimir Guerrero, Tatis, these guys have more home runs on the season than their entire lineups. So I'll take the Cubs here. We don't know what the line's going to be, it looks like, just yet, or who the pitcher is, or there's mixed bags here. If it is Lopez, maybe you can get a little nerfy.
Yeah, it's interesting. So we'll lay off a couple of these games as they come up. Barrios and Fulton, which we already talked about, and then also Kansas City just switched the pitcher to Zimmer, which looks like he's actually going to be an opener in that game. So no reason to go over that one. We'll skip right down to 973, 974. Chicago White Sox, Houston Astros. Astros hot at the plate here. See if they can get after. Rodon's been good this year. That line is 8s across the board and roughly a pick 'em with Garcia on the mound here for the Astros, Jason.
Yeah, and I saw someone in the chat was talking about how hot they've been. I'm actually would side towards the White Sox in this game against Garcia. I'm not the biggest Garcia fan. I think that eventually he's going to let up some runs. I know his xFIP's been pretty good recently, 3.80, striking out 28.6% of batters and walking just 6.3. But then his batting average of balls in play sits at 229, ground balls at 28.9%, and hard contact at 37%. So he is getting just a little bit lucky and allowing 178 ISO to lefties and a weighted OBA of 303 to lefties. There will be some solid amount of lefties in the White Sox lineup. I think Moncada, Mercedes, Grandal, Goodwin. So there's lefties in the lineup that can do damage. And now you go to Houston's side. Okay, now they're without Bregman. Brantley's been red hot, but he just came back. Not against lefties, though. So, he's not hitting lefties like he's hitting righties. Obviously, he's a left-handed batter. Both lineups really do profile well, but Rodon's been really, really good, and he hasn't been lucky. He's just been really good. Where Garcia, I feel like, he can be hit and can allow some runs eventually. So I would side with the White Sox here. I know it's more of a pick-em game. I like the White Sox in this spot, and I also do agree with the under 4.5 in the first 5. I think Rodon shuts down the Astros. The White Sox, their lineup's good. It's not excellent going up against Garcia. So I'd look at the under 4.5 in the first 5, but I'd rather take the White Sox on the money line here.
Back to elevation in Colorado, 957, 958. Burns and Senzatella, 10.5 across the board. Here we go again with a huge line for the Milwaukee Brewers. You saw yesterday, Woodruff got absolutely torched in that game. We'll see if that continues now, and maybe you can't junk it up. And we're talking about Woodruff and Burns, two guys you never heard of. Well, maybe they go back to being never heard of because they were doctoring baseballs. We'll see what happens today. Huge favorite, as I said. Colorado, trash can on the road. 24-karat gold at home, Kyle. What the hell's going on?
And I'm telling you right now, it's nothing official by me, but if I was going to bet this game, that might mean I'm taking Colorado as the underdog here. This is really, and I was, when I first looked at this, I'm like, okay, where can I get Milwaukee in the first 5? If this is under 150, let me just jump on it. Let me give you the fantasy totals for Corbin Burns in his last 5 starts against the Colorado Rockies. I think this is really surprising. 12, 15, 18, 6, and 6. He has not pitched well against the Rockies. Now, obviously, Senzatella is an absolute can. I think he had, but his last 4 starts against Milwaukee, 33, 40, 12, and 12. I'm just saying, Colorado, for as big of an underdog as they are live for me. When I see those sorts of opportunities, there's no way I'm laying that line on Milwaukee now. That's a complete stay away for me. But when I look at this Colorado lineup, they profile sort of nicely, and Burns has really, really struggled. And, oh, yeah, by the way, how great did he look in this, last start when they didn't have – it wasn't the 70.
He didn't have the sticky stuff.
Yeah, didn't have the sticky stuff. Well, I'm not saying put your mortgage on it, but if you're looking at a big plus money underdog and you want to take a long shot bet, you could do worse than the Rockies today.
No, you certainly can. But by the way, I'm looking at the Milwaukee lineup, and I did have them as a circle play for a possible team total, 5.5 at -140, which is doable out in Colorado. You got some pretty good guys from the left-hand side and also some decent ISO power numbers going up against righties this year. If we're taking a look at the Milwaukee Brewers, 190, 185, 171, 210, 212, 194. So some decent bats in that lineup. We'll see if you can get it going tonight, but it is always that worry. You're paying a big number for a guy that is not a household name that has been, quote-unquote, doing it for the last 10 years. Maybe that spin rate is going to be down like you saw with Woodruff. No surprise that these guys are getting lit up now, specifically the players that we're looking at saying, boy, he's really good. Well, I haven't heard his name before. Well, now you're probably going to hear their names at this point here. Keep moving it down here as we go down the list. Detroit and Los Angeles Angels already had some topics of discussion on that one. How about this one? Dodgers in Arizona. Hey, thank God, Jason. Arizona's not on the road. Maybe they have a chance. Well, maybe they don't. Trevor Bauer on the road versus Caleb Smith tonight. Huge favorite, -190, 9.5 across the board. You know Trevor Bauer is going to take a little bit of a hit now that they're watching his baseballs left and right. Is that going to impact him tonight in this game? Or is it just say, hey, look, man, Arizona waved the white flag. Can't take him anymore. Done deal.
Yeah, look, now the Diamondbacks are going to have to face the Dodgers now. After all this losing, now they got to go face the Dodgers. And that's with Caleb Smith on the mound, who hasn't been that great, 5.03 xFIP. The strikeouts are high, but if you look at this Dodgers lineup now, Smith's the lefty. The Dodgers will have an entire lineup of right-handed batters. And now you got Bauer going up against this Arizona lineup, and Arizona, they've just been terrible. I mean, right now, the projected lineup in their last 30 days, right? An ISO of 106, a weighted OBA of 277, and striking out 27.2% of the time. I think Bauer gets it done. I think the Dodgers offense figures it out. I think the Dodgers -0.5 in the first 5 is another really, really great look. -1.5 in the full game, also a solid look. I think the Dodgers take this one and dominate the Diamondbacks here with Bauer on the mound. I don't even know why this isn't official. Now I'm talking myself into it. So if you're trying to chase your losses early, just take the Dodgers. I'm telling you. If you're trying to chase, and I don't recommend it, trying to
against
chase
the lefty.
Go the Dodgers.
Against the lefty.
But they have 9 righties in the lineup now. So
that's fair.
I mean, I'm a lefty, Kyle. So the Caleb Smith.
I love lefties. That's why I love you so much.
Right now.
Love
exactly.
lefties.
By the way, it's nice and cool out there. Maybe the roof will be open 116 degrees at first pitch. Maybe. I don't know. We'll see.
Probably.
116 at night at first pitch there out there in Arizona.
Absolutely crazy. You can't breathe in that. If you've ever been to Vegas in
it's
July,
dry heat. No, it's dry heat. It's dry heat though. So leave it alone, Kyle.
Okay. Yeah. Okay. Well, can't breathe in that shit. You just got to get drunk and stay inside. That's what you do there.
All right, who wants this one right now? Who wants to break down Cincinnati and San Diego? It's Santillan on the mound versus Paddock, 188 to 200. 9s as a team total, up from 8. Are we expecting bats to come into play in this game here as we go? Who wants it? I'm going to leave this one up for grabs. Who wants it?
I'll rock and roll. I like the Padres.
It,
the Padres should stomp on the Reds tonight. I actually like them in the run line. I like them in the first 5. I like them in the money line for the full game. Their bullpen is exponentially better. Paddock has actually been fantastic. This is a game I almost put on as my official play. He profiles beautifully against this Reds lineup. Do the Reds have left-handed hitters, Barnhart, Winker? Do they have righties? And, of course, Castellanos and Suarez who can hit righties? They do. And the one scary thing about the Reds, right? You ever see the Reds lineup and you're like, holy shit, man, these guys are putting Barnhart and Suarez at 7 and 8. They actually have legitimate 7 and 8 hitters, which not a lot of teams do outside of the Dodgers, right, and the Yankees. But I like the Padres today, and Paddock is a great price on DraftKings at 8,300. He's looked really good his last 2 starts, finally getting over that 5-inning plateau, seems to be a little bit healthier. I think the Padres absolutely smashed this kid. The Tatis home run prop is absolutely alive and well. Hosmer, Grisham, even Fraley, Cronenworth, even Tommy Pham has a little bit of an advantage here, a guy I like to bag on. So I like the Padres minus 0.5 in the first 5. I know it's juiced up. It's at minus 140. I'd still take it. So for me, instead of the Dodgers against the lefty, if I lose early and I'm looking to build up on something late, I'm going to take the Padres in the first 5. I might even take the run line. I think they smashed the Reds tonight.
By the way, if you guys want to grow up and host shows and be a host on multiple platforms here, you just saw what I did there. I forgot who I was supposed to throw it to. So I was like, who wants it? Who wants it? So that is a pro move right there. So I try to give out tips and advice on gambling and also life skills when you're hosting. If you're not paying attention and forget, just throw it up for grabs. Somebody will take it away, and that's how you do it here. That's how to be a pro's pro. Last game of the day, we're going to talk about Tampa Bay and Seattle. Jason, Waka, Kikuchi, 7.5, minus 103 to minus 105, depending where you're shopping at. Kyle hates Waka. Do you?
Yeah, no, I agree with him 100%. I would even go with the Mariners over 1.5 on the team total in the first 5 innings, because now you're just taking Waka. You're going to 2 runs, because we know Waka is not going to be going, maybe 3 innings above that. So now you just kind of get that 2 runs and then just kind of leave before having to go up against the Rays. Now, of course, if the Mariners are able to get 2 runs in the first 2 innings, or whatever, they should be able to get, a couple more against the Rays, no matter how great the bullpen really is. So I think the Mariners are an interesting little underdog here. I know the underdog, really, like the line isn't that big for them to be an underdog in this game against the Rays, but it still, catches my eye, and I agree with Kyle when it comes down to Waka not being a great pitcher. He hasn't been, and Kikuchi has been. He's been really good. He's a lefty, and going up against a Rays lineup that's not great against lefties when you look at the stats. So I like Kikuchi here. He's getting 57.1% of grounders in the last 30 days, allowing 46% hard contact. That's the one thing that concerns you, but some of the hard contact is on the ground, so that induces double plays, of course. So, yeah, I agree with the Mariners. I think the Mariners get the job done here, but I wouldn't side with them for the full game if you're going to go with the money line. But I do agree with the team totals. First 5, full game for the Mariners. However you want to take that, go with it.
Yep.
All right, let's end the show here. Clear the bases. Get out of here for a fresh Friday, because in just a few moments here, we're going to turn this bad boy into a football Friday, but that's for another show at this time. Let's give the people what they want. Recap on what we're on tonight. For me, value menu wager tonight, Minnesota Twins 4.5 at minus 124 at the FanDuel Sportsbook. Play of the day. Yeah, going against my – see, it's going to be okay. Sixers blowout winner early. Can watch the Phillies get wasted on the West Coast. What a perfect Friday night in the Donnie RightSide household here. But my play of the day, San Francisco 3.5 at minus 155. We're going to get all over that bad boy. Take it away, Jason. Value menu and also best bets on your card.
Yeah, this is ridiculous, because there are so many spots I want to take, and you just don't want to make that wrong decision. But I agree with the Blue Jays as a value play. The Blue Jays over 5 on the team total. I'm going to look for that. I think it should be on FanDuel or PointsBet, but that'll be a value play. I like the Athletics over 4.5 on the team total at minus 105. That will be a value play with them on the road. They get the full 9 innings. Also, I didn't have the Dodgers. I'm going to bet on them too. Dodgers minus 0.5 in the first 5. I think Bauer gets the job done, and I like their offense to score a couple runs. Even though they're going up against the lefty, I think they still have a winning percentage that's good against lefties. They still win against them. They just don't hit as much. But Bauer should hold it down, and with a bunch of righties in the lineup and a guy like Pujols in there who wasn't there prior, in April, I do think the Dodgers get the job done in the first 5. Another value play there. I just want to make sure I have all the plays in there, so I can't hit myself later for not grabbing them. But the official plays for me: Angels over 5 on the team total at minus 118 via FanDuel. And then I'm also going to be on the Twins over 4.5 on the team total at minus 121. I think I got that via PointsBet from what I can remember. So, but I think you can get that around minus 125 anywhere. So those are the 2 official plays, and I got 3 value plays. I'm looking at Kyle now. I'm putting out 5 plays today.
Yeah.
This is
so it looks like he did bet the entire card. See, he starts off saying he doesn't have a lot of spot. He wants to narrow it down. He's got 5 plays. He got the whole card right here, Kyle. Max,
scared money don't make money. We don't play scared around here.
Damn it.
Yeah, let's let her rip. Well, I only had 4, but I am going to add a 5th, because I'm going to add those Padres. So my plays of the day: Twins first 5 minus 0.5 at minus 125 now. Blue Jays first 5 minus 0.5 at minus 140. On the value menu, I'm going to take that Braves team total over 4.5 minus 115. And you know what? I'll add the Cardinals team total over 3.5 at minus 140. I also like the Mariners team total over 3.5 minus 115 Alpha Walker. And I'll add one more to make it 6 because I cannot be out. I can't have that. I can't have to have an important golf match today. I need to stay mentally right. I'm going to take the Padres minus 0.5 in the first 5 as well at minus 140. I hope you all have a great weekend. And my final word for the show, go Hawks.
Yeah, go Seahawks. I know, man. Big fan
How
of Seahawks
dare
up
you.
there in the West
How
Coast. So
dare
there you
you.
go. All right. Look at that. I thought you liked the 49ers. Now you got the Seahawks anyway.
Dare you.
Man, look at that. That'll do it for a Friday on the Major League Baseball Show. Thanks, guys, for tuning in all week long. Hopefully you guys crush it out there over the weekend. But we are going to end this week in style and lay it down this weekend and pick up some W's tonight on our Friday Major League Baseball card. I'm Donnie Seymour for Jason Radowitz and Kyle Purviance. We are sportsbookreview.com. This was the Major League Baseball Show. Good luck on your wagers all weekend long.